it going, guys? It's Jake from Clicktool Academy here. Welcome back to our second installment of Motivational Wednesdays, where we show you how to use a life hack to improve your life, or how to take a valuable insight or lesson and apply it to the way you're already living your life. This week, we're going to look at 6 of the key defining traits that I feel separate successful people from unsuccessful people. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we have number 1, and that is successful people work smart, not hard. And that seems kind of like a cliche saying, but let me explain what I mean by that. Successful people are results oriented. They're paid based off of their results, whereas unsuccessful people are paid based off of the time they put in. A good example of this at a low level would be someone who works at a fast food restaurant and is getting paid minimum wage is someone who's on an unsuccessful path. They're only making as much as the amount of time they put in, whereas someone who is successful could have a hot dog cart and be making as much as they are capable of selling. So that person who's working harder, who's working more motivated, is going to be rewarded for that, versus if they were putting in that same effort at the fast food restaurant, would not be. Sure, maybe they get promotions over time, but they're still getting paid the same amount right now. This obviously goes up the ladder to the highest level, CEOs. CEOs, what would you think, successful or unsuccessful? Well, obviously on some level they're successful, but using my analogy here, I would say they're unsuccessful compared to their counterpart, which is the investor. A CEO is still only making as much as their hourly salary dictates, or their yearly salary dictates. Whereas an investor has the potential to make as much as they're willing to invest their time and energy into making the right financial investment decisions. In that circumstance, the successful person is the investor. It's the Warren Buffett, not the CEO of Coca-Cola. Number 2, successful people entertain themselves through growth, whereas unsuccessful people entertain themselves through waste. What do I mean by that? When a successful person gets home at the end of the day, they don't just go and sit in front of the TV and relax and veg by wasting their time. They engage in their personal life, in their passions and their hobbies, and develop themselves in ways at all times. Because when you're spending your free time sitting around watching TV, trying to forget about your worries and troubles, you're not growing, you're not improving. When you're sitting around using that time to enjoyably read something that you're passionate about or improve a skill that you truly enjoy, you're growing. And that's something that is many people find difficult to distinguish in their lives, but once they do, are able to grow greatly from it. You don't realize it now, but you would enjoy your free time far more if you spent it doing things that led to personal growth. And in turn, you'd find yourself to be a much more successful and happy person. Number 3, take responsibility for your actions. Don't blame others. Successful people are aware that every single aspect of their lives, both good and bad, is a result of their own actions. They understand that no matter how bad of a situation they come into this world in, only they can dictate the path their life will take. Unsuccessful people, they'll sit around, they'll tell you, oh, the government screwed me over, or, oh, I didn't get the same level of support and privilege that others did at a young age. Which it might totally be true, but it shouldn't be their excuse for living an unhappy and unfulfilling life. Everyone has it within themselves to create the life they've always wanted. They just need to go out there, focus, and pursue it. And if they don't, that's not on somebody else, that's on them. And that is something that you need to implement into your daily life if you ever hope to accomplish your goals and become a successful person. Number 4, unsuccessful people save. Successful people invest. If you are so worried about saving all the time, then your issue isn't a matter of money management. It's an issue of income. You need to figure out how to make more money. For example, let's say you're traveling from Los Angeles to San Francisco, and you can either take a 7-hour bus ride or you can take a 1-hour plane ride, but the bus ride costs half as much. A lot of people will say, hey, I'll do that. I'll take the bus ride because it's cheaper and I'll be saving money. But a successful person would realize that I don't have to put myself through that uncomfortable situation. I can take the plane ride and I can use the time I saved to make that money, to make up that difference in some way, whether it's through an internet marketing campaign or it's through some other means of passive income. I can use that time to improve myself and make back potentially tenfold what I saved by taking the bus. And this is an important skill. You need to constantly be looking for situations where you would otherwise think that saving money is the right decision and instead see the investment opportunity that's available. The same applies in the most literal sense. Many people think, oh, I don't want to spend $500 on building a marketing campaign. I could save that $500 and stick it in my bank. But a successful person understands that investing that money will return itself tenfold. The classic cliche saying is, you got to spend money to make money. It totally holds up and is 100% true. Number 5, successful people are humble. Have you ever noticed how there's always that guy in the room who's got 101 opinions about politics and current events and everything else? You understand how when you try to interact with those people, that one individual, they're usually set in their ways and aren't really willing to hear you out. That's a very, very unsuccessful trait to have. If you're set in your ways and you think you know everything, you probably know very, very little. A successful person is humble, and they understand that every other person they interact with and meet has the potential to influence and inspire them in a way that leads to growth and more success in their lives. If you're not actively seeking education from every single individual and media source and everything in your life, obviously you want to take it with a grain of salt. You don't want to just accept things as truth. But if you're not open to hearing every single idea out there, you're passing up on a lot of potential winners that could lead to more success in your personal life. Number 6, this sort of goes back to last week's Motivational Wednesday video. Successful people are action-oriented. Unsuccessful people are lottery-oriented. Successful people understand that they can't just wait for that miracle. They have to take action today if they want to achieve their success, if they want to achieve their goals. Unsuccessful people, they're fine with sitting back. In their minds, that lottery win is right around the corner, or whatever it happens to be. Think about it this way. Most unsuccessful people realize that, they're probably not going to win the actual lottery, right? That's 300 million, 500, whatever it is, a ridiculous number of millions to one. But for whatever reason, they assume that they're going to win that dream, that passion, that goal they have, that it's going to stumble into their lives in that 1 of a million odds scenario. No, it doesn't work that way. And what's great about real life that the lottery doesn't have is that you can take action, you can stay focused, you can be determined, and you can achieve your goals. There's no more waiting around for it to come. You need to do that yourself. All right, that's 6 of my favorite distinguishing traits that separate successful from unsuccessful people. I hope you learned something. I hope you were able to take something away from this video. And I hope you're able to take what you've learned and apply it to your own life to live as a successful person and to stop living as an unsuccessful person. Because trust me, nobody wants to live as an unsuccessful person. All right, I've been Jake from Clicktool. I'll see you in the next one.